Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. I see people joining on my screen. I was just waiting for people to join. So I'd like to, well, first of all, welcome you all. A very good afternoon to all participants, all panelists. Very pleased to welcome you for this final session of the World Nuclear University short course in Brazil, where we will discuss nuclear education and training. So thank you for joining. It's a very important session. We'll have the opportunity to hear more from World Nuclear University education programs and also nuclear education opportunities in Brazil. I wanted to first remind you that we have simultaneous translation. I'm sure you're now very well aware, but it's in the bottom of your screen, a little globe icon, where you can choose Portuguese or English. And also you'll be able to ask questions or interact via the chat function, also at the bottom of your screen. And that is where you can ask questions to our panelists. I am Virginie Ryan-Taix, and I'm the head of communication at World Nuclear Association. I'm very pleased to be moderating this session on a very important topic. I'm sure all moderators have said their session was the most important, but I believe ours is fundamental, but it is because it is about the people. And with Brazil having plans for nuclear, the people and the workforce and how we attract young talents is absolutely essential. And we are very fortunate to have with us the best people to present on this topic this afternoon. And so the session will take place in two parts. We'll first hear from Sarah Cullen and Vitor Fernandes on the World Nuclear University programs with a focus on the Nuclear Olympiad. And in the second part, we will discuss education and training in Brazil, more particularly, with three distinguished speakers from Brazilian universities, from Rio, Pernambuco, and Sao Paulo, who will present to you existing and new nuclear engineering programs. So let me now turn to Sarah and Vitor. Sarah Cullen is the training manager at World Nuclear University. Her background is in Irish energy development and energy systems engineering. And Vitor Fernandes is the team leader of the winning group of the 2019 WNU Nuclear Olympiad. He's a chemical engineer who graduated magna cum laude in 2016 and holding a master's degree in science and technology of radiation, minerals and materials from I'm going to try my Portuguese here, Centro de Desenvolvimento da Tecnologia Nuclear. I hope that was all right. And he studied nuclear reactors for 3 years and currently pursuing a PhD in nuclear reactors. So let me now first turn to Sarah. Sarah, the floor is yours.
Cool, thank you very much. I'm just going to share my screen. Can you see that okay? Cool. So thank you very much, Virginie, for that introduction. I'm going to begin this session with giving you a very brief overview of the World Nuclear University and our role in international nuclear education. So, as you will have seen on Tuesday, the World Nuclear University's vision is to develop competencies for future world-class nuclear leaders, and also to be a leading global nuclear educational organization, developing talents for the advancement of nuclear science and technology. Our mission is to enhance international education and leadership in the peaceful uses of nuclear energy and the applications of nuclear science and technology by providing top-level training for future world-class nuclear leaders. Our 4 founding supporters are the World Nuclear Association, the International Atomic Energy Agency, and the OECD Nuclear Energy Agency. Since our inception in 2003, The WNU as a global network of institutions has grown to include 2 intergovernmental organizations, 9 international associations, and 62 institutions in 30 countries. You can see some of our most recent collaboration partner organizations below, including ABDAN, although we've been holding this course with ABDAN for 10 years. World Nuclear University's continued success in delivering quality education is related to its values, which include continuous improvement, sorry, one second on my screen, in learning environments, integrity, teamwork, professionalism, respect, and leadership. I'd like to focus on one of these values at the start, which is lifelong learning and networking opportunities. I'm going to focus on this by giving you a brief overview of our main activities in international nuclear education. And after my presentation, Vitor will describe his participation in one such event and the impact that this experience had on him. World Nuclear University holds educational programs and events for all career stages, from university students right up until executive level. We also have books and publications which are well-renowned illustrated texts, which provide up-to-date practical knowledge on nuclear topics. These are built upon years of world-class training experience since our inception in 2003 and are written by active industry leaders. In addition to these texts, we provide other public educational resources, such as a curated reference list, which acts as a primer to one of our most well-known programs, the Summer Institute, which I will talk about. Additionally, as well as these programs which are open to everyone and resources open to everyone, we have events and networking opportunities that are open to alumni who've taken part in our programs. We also have a dedicated innovation platform and specific alumni network engagement. All of these activities by WNU are part of our work in identifying gaps in nuclear education and targeting and filling those gaps. So I'm now going to run through a few of World Nuclear University's main programs and activities, which, and I'm going to describe our approach to and our impact on international nuclear education. This here is a list of our programs, and you can find out more about each one on our website. To date, we've had over 9,000 alumni from 90 countries taking part. We're perhaps best known for our Summer Institute program. This is for mid-career professionals from all sectors of the nuclear industry, and this program has been recognized for its excellence. The purpose of this program is to provide a unique educational experience aimed at building future global leadership in the fields of nuclear science and technology. And since the first program in 2005, we have welcomed 1,219 alumni from 85 countries. The Summer Institute is an annual intensive 5-week program which gives an overview of all aspects of the nuclear industry, as well as featuring technical tours and networking opportunities. The program intensively trains participants in communication and leadership skills, which are necessary for the enhancement of the nuclear industry as a whole. Many Summer Institute alumni, especially from the earlier years, now hold leadership positions in their respective companies. And you can read about the impact of this program on their professional lives through our website by reading their success stories. These are just a selection of images from the program over the years. The program has been running since 2005 and takes place in a different location every year. Unfortunately, this year, it wasn't possible to hold the program, and we had to make the very difficult decision to postpone it. But we look forward to welcoming fellows to our program in 2021 in Japan. Related to the Summer Institute program is the World Nuclear University book, Nuclear Energy in the 21st Century, which is now in its 4th edition. This is a primer for the Summer Institute program, but it's also an authoritative resource for educators, students, policymakers, and interested lay people alike. This is available for purchase through our website and is easily accessible to a wide range of audiences. Also related to the Summer Institute, I mentioned that we have alumni networks from our different program. So one of these alumni networks is the 1,214 participants or fellows from the Summer Institute program from over the years. This year, in 2020, we launched a dedicated innovation platform for the alumni network from the Summer Institute. And this has been designed to provide a space to innovate, collaborate, and share information. It helps them to network among themselves and to find collaboration partners for their own innovation projects. It's also an easy way to keep our network up to date with WNU and events. This was another example of WNU identifying and filling gaps in the industry. So besides the Summer Institute, another well-known program is our School on Radiation Technologies. This is a 2-week intensive leadership and communication development program for professionals in the radiation technologies field, including radioisotope production. The School on Radiation Technologies provides participants with a broad understanding of the main topics relevant to radiation technology. It also, similar to the Summer Institute, is a great networking opportunity and provides technical tours to facilities, but also serves as inspiration and motivation for participants for their future careers. And you can also read about the impacts of this program through your success stories on our website. Advanced Radiation Technology is a book designed to provide a broad brush picture of the field of radiation technology and radioisotope production. So it includes topical articles outlining specific aspects related to the production of radioisotopes, economic aspects, radiation sources and accelerators, and radiation dosimetry. There are area-wise applications in the radiation technologies, and these are covered under medicine, industry, and cultural heritage. While this book is related to the School on Radiation Technologies, it's also suitable and accessible for any industry professional or interested individual. A program you're all very familiar with is the program we're on now, the World Nuclear Industry Today. This is a regional program which aims to enhance the knowledge of attendees about the status of nuclear energy in the world today and its likely development. Also importantly, as with our other programs, it aims to inspire participants and to really understand how they fit in to the global industry and what their skills can bring. This has also taken place all over the world. And in 2020, for the first time, this program moved online. It was held online for a Chinese course in August and now for this Brazilian course in November. Yet another area that we're providing education in is uranium production. So this program was set up on the premise that a worldwide expansion of nuclear energy is now very likely, and it will require a higher level of primary uranium production. And we need to provide the relevant skills and competencies for people to achieve this. So it was established in 2006, and it prevents schemes focused on professional training throughout a range of aspects of uranium production, be it deposit surveys and extraction using various means, treatment of uranium ores, environmental protection, and protection of the health of workers, and even the removal of any consequences of mining operations, so remediation. Exploration and remediation are a focus of this program. These are just some pictures of the facility and of some of the participants. We get a lot of participants from China, and we also get people with funding from the IAEA. So, very importantly, in today's globalizing nuclear industry, proficiency in English is an essential asset for nuclear professionals. World Nuclear University's intensive nuclear English language courses help learners prepare for the English-speaking environment, which enables day-to-day communication with colleagues, writing of effective reports, and participation at conferences. This course is tailored to participants' needs, and it takes place in company, but also takes place as part of the Summer Institute every year. It's based on this book, Communicating Effectively with Nuclear English, which I would highly recommend you take a look at on the website if you're looking at expanding your knowledge in technical terms and improving your confidence in nuclear-related English. So, the World Nuclear University Executive Enhancement Programme is at the other end of the spectrum. It's a new short course for senior executives, and it aims to provide them with a greater understanding of the global nuclear energy sector, and also to strengthen their leadership skills and to prepare and motivate them for taking on additional and bigger responsibilities in the nuclear energy world. Since 2005, WNU has been offering nuclear education through the Summer Institute, which attempts to meet the demand of highly skilled nuclear professionals for the globalized and expanding nuclear industry through developing their leadership skills. And over the years, and you'll be able to see on our website, we've received really fantastic feedback on the program, and the success of this program is what encouraged us to develop a specific course for later on in career for more senior executives. So that's where this program comes from. Today's global business nuclear arena has never been more challenging for senior leadership roles. They must be able to go through, to keep up with the technological landscape and to lead through periods of fast evolution and competition, together with international collaboration. In order to reach full potential, senior leaders need to reflect and identify which skills are needed and which need to be further developed. This novel WNU program fills a gap in this area and will help participants to leverage their leadership skills by working with other senior leaders and case studies, by developing the understanding of how to build trust and influence to engage at the highest level. And the final program that I'm going to talk about today, and Vitor will talk about after me, is our Nuclear Olympiad. This is for university students. It's a unique opportunity for them to build up a top professional network while contributing to nuclear communications. So the Nuclear Olympiad, it aims to connect different students who are excited about nuclear science and technology and to give them a voice in an international setting. And we feel that this is very motivating for a career, and the challenge also serves as a mean of raising public awareness on the peaceful applications on science and technology around the world. To date, there have been 4, and the winner of the most recent one can be seen on his knees in this photo here, and he'll be talking to you now. So thank you very much for listening to this presentation. If you want to check out any of these programs, you can look at our website, worldnuclearuniversity.org. You can also email us, and you can connect with us on social media, and we'd encourage you to do so. So I'm going to hand over to Vitor now.
Thank you very much, Sarah. I think you introduced very well Vitor, so I'm just going to hand over to you now, Vitor, and then we can look if there are questions for Sarah or Vitor after this, your presentation.
Hi everyone, I'm Vitor, and today I'm talking about our experience and project on the WNU Nuclear Olympiad 2019. Before we begin, let me introduce myself and my team members briefly. As it was said, I'm Vitor, a chemical engineer, master in nuclear reactors, and I'm pursuing my PhD degree in nuclear science. My teammates were Ana Flávia, Edilane, Luciana, and Natalia, and we were oriented by Professor Ami Zacarias. And it's an honor to say that we are the winners of the WNU Nuclear Olympiad 2019. Attending the WNU Nuclear Olympiad was one of the best experiences of my life. To be honest, I enjoyed participating in the Olympiad more than I thought I would. It was a unique experience since the beginning. All the schedules and plans to develop our work were lifelong learning. Besides, each stage was important to shape my knowledge about the use of radiation. And I will present you an abstract of our work presented by me in the finals. First of all, I'd like to share with you the first thought I've ever had about radiation. When I was a child, I used to think that radiation could give me superpowers and then I would be a superhero and save lives. Now, after graduated and studying a nuclear center, I realized that I wasn't completely wrong. I've learned that radiation indeed is used by superheroes. Those superheroes are all the works like scientists and physicians who dedicate their lives to study how the radiation could not only be used to improve our life, but also how it could be used to save lives. But unfortunately, our superhero story has a villain. It's not different here. Throughout the development of this work, my team and I could figure it out that the real villain in this story is the lack of knowledge. As human, we are inclined to having prejudicial attitudes towards what we don't know about, and it's not different from what happened in the nuclear technology in the whole world, including our country, Brazil. Talking about Brazil, Brazil has 2 nuclear power plants, Angra 1 and Angra 2, with a nominal production of about 2,000 megawatts, which represents approximately 3% of the national energy matrix. And the perspective for the Brazilian nuclear scenario are positive. They are projects that involve the conclusion of the 3rd nuclear power plant, Angra 3, and the implementation of the Brazilian multi-purpose reactors, which targets at national independence regarding the radiopharmaceuticals demand, enabling some samples production obtaining exclusively through importation. In nuclear medicine, radiopharmaceuticals are used. They are drugs that have a radioactive element in their composition. They can be used either for diagnostic or therapeutic purposes, mainly in cardiology and oncology. Their application has allowed around 2 million medical procedures to be performed every year in Brazil, considering that 30% of these procedures are covered by the public health system. And those are some Brazilians who have their lives saved or are still on treatments which involve the use of radiation. Our group got in touch with each one of them, listened their history, and we could understand even more the weight of the use of radiation in our society. So during the period of 1 month, questionnaires were applied to people from different regions all over Brazil. The objective of this survey was to assess public knowledge of a small sample of the Brazilian population about the radiopharmaceuticals and nuclear energy topics. In order to do that, a questionnaire was developed and applied, containing 9 questions. Question 1 to 3, trace the respondents' profiles. Question 4 to 7, verify the public knowledge and approve a degree on the use of the radiopharmaceuticals. And question 8 to 9, investigate the population perception of nuclear energy and its use in the generation of power. The access link for the questionnaire was made available through different digital means of communication, such as email and social medias. And moreover, this questionnaire was printed and applied together with employees and workers from a nuclear center called Nuclear Technology Development Center, CDTN, in an event that took place there. So the questionnaire were applied to 348 people from different regions, and the largest respondents' participation was from the Southeast region, more than 90%, due to the range of the surveyors who lived in this area. Besides, it's essential to highlight that, the largest response was from them. Besides, it's essential to highlight that around 70% of the nuclear research centers are located in the Southeast region, as well as the country's nuclear power reactors. And among the interviews, it was noted a high concentration in the highest levels of schooling. Such information has met the research goals once a relevant part of the data collection took place at the CDTN, a research center, where graduated masters, doctors, and researchers are habitually present. So we analyzed the respondents' degree of knowledge about radiopharmaceuticals topic, and 39% of the interviews said to have good or very good knowledge of the theme, but more than 38% had none or little knowledge on it. This can be justified by the fact that 77% of these respondents have never been through any procedure that involved the use of radiopharmaceuticals, and 9% of them had no idea if they had or they hadn't. Besides, only 34% of the survey's participants showed some knowledge about the production of these medicaments. However, after the radiopharmaceutical and nuclear technology concept had been introduced in the questionnaire, the results showed that 73% of the interview would agree with its use. The results were like those reported in literature. Then a simplified study on public perception regarding the nuclear energy field was also conducted. It was evaluated the main reasons why the respondents who were against the use of nuclear energy had those points of view. Our results could be compared with the results from a research conducted by Eletrobras Eletronuclear, the corporation responsible for the operation of the nuclear power stations in Brazil. The research demonstrated that the justification for negative evaluation of nuclear technology are similar among those who have no or little knowledge about it. The sample data also shows that the means of communication considered by the response that the most trustful were television and internet. Thus, the responses are subject mainly to broadcasts whose focus only in the negative aspects and fake news. So to conclude, in face of the collected data analyzed, it was possible to observe that the degree of knowledge about the radiopharmaceutical nuclear energy issues had influenced the respondents' degree of approval. The justification for negative evaluation of nuclear technologies are similar among those who have no or little knowledge about it, and most of them only associate nuclear science with the negative aspects, and they are not aware about its benefits to humankind. So without the knowledge about the radiation's use, people get vulnerable to information which may only intensify prejudice and disapproval of the team. As a matter of fact, it was identified the need of strategies to improve this scenario. So we understand that it's important the involvement of the Brazilian education in the system, Brazilian education system through formation course in which nuclear science is inserted and scaffolded. Likewise, it was identified a need for development programs that stimulate the popularization of science across society, make the scientific community well-known and accessible to all. Due to this need, our group has been to different media interviews and radio stations and TV shows for propagating the benefits of the use of radiation. We see that it's important to develop an awareness of how radiation is used to improve the population conception on it. Consequently, those who possess a favorable position towards nuclear technology could be the emerging promoters to the initiative. It's important to say that each step counts to spread the correct knowledge in this journey to create a better world for all of us. So we are grateful to everyone and to each institution and company which support us and help to make this project possible. And of course, thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much to both Sarah and Vitor. And Vitor, congratulations on winning the 2019 Nuclear Olympiad. I think it's great to hear how it was such a great experience for you. I think you said one of the best of your life. So it's really nice to hear, and there's nothing more rewarding for people that put together those programs than to hear that directly from those who participate. So that's great. I see that we have had one question in the chat, but I believe Sarah has provided additional information in the chat. So it was about obviously age or education requirements for the WNU programs. And because they're quite different depending on the program, it's probably best to check the website and then ask Sarah directly. She's provided the email in the chat for any additional information. So I think it's time now to move on to the second part of our discussion, where we'll concentrate a little bit more on Brazil and nuclear education in Brazil. And we'll start with an overview presentation that will be given to us by Helen Khoury. Helen is a full professor of the Nuclear Energy Department of the Federal University of Pernambuco. She has a PhD in nuclear physics and develops research activities in dosimetry and nuclear instrumentation. She's also the coordinator of the Metrology Laboratory of Ionizing Radiation and Nuclear Science Museum. Helen, the floor is yours.
Well, first of all, I want to thank the organizers for this invitation and this opportunity to talk about the education, nuclear education in Brazil. In few time that I have, I'm trying to share many informations about what happened in our country, so you will have an idea how we are working in Brazil to have high quality of researchers and people working in this area. For this, I want first to show how the nuclear activities began in Brazil. In reality, it began in 1915 years, and the improvement happened in 1951 when the government established National Research Council, CNPq. It was established to control the mining, uranium minings. And after that, many activities in nuclear area initiate and usually are related with the use of radioisotopes for medical applications. In 1956, the Institute of Atomic Energy, current IPEN, Nuclear and Energy Research Institute, located in São Paulo. So as I told, in the beginning of the nuclear activities in Brazil was in 1950, 1956, the Institute of Atomic Energy, actual IPEN, Institute of Energy and Nuclear Research, was created. And in 1959, this institute initiated the production of radiopharmaceutical products. Next, please. Well, besides the presence of large amount of uranium minerals in the state of Minas Gerais, contributed for the creation in 1952 at the University of Minas Gerais, the Federal University of Minas Gerais, the Institute Center of Nuclear Technology and Development, CDTN, where Vitor is. And in 1956, the National Nuclear Energy Commission was created. And in 1958, the first Latin American nuclear research reactor was, and this was located in São Paulo. In the University of São Paulo, research in the area used as a connection with the research group at the university. Next, please. Well, in 1956, and in well, in that one, but okay, no problem. Okay, next, please.
I try to give you the control, the remote control. Did you have that?
Yes, let me see if I can do.
Yep.
Yes, okay, okay. Okay, now, well, in 1970, the government decided to initiate the construction of the nuclear plants. And of course, this attitude improve the courses and improve the nuclear activities in the country. And as Victor said today, we are in a good situation because the government wants again to implement or to continue these power plants. So it is interesting. I gave this introduction to see where are the areas the nuclear activities are developed. As you can see, it is in the Southeast region and in the Northeast. Victor told that the majority are in the Southeast, in São Paulo, Minas Gerais, Rio de Janeiro, and in Northeast in Pernambuco. And many of the institutes of the Nuclear Energy Commission, like IPEN, CDTN, IRD, CRCN, IE, develop research and education activities beside the public universities like Rio de Janeiro, Pernambuco, Minas Gerais, São Paulo, and so on. Well, now I can't, Virginie, stop. Please, next. Okay, So as we know, the development of nuclear sector is closely related to the education and training to have a number of qualified specialists. And in this case, next please, Virginie. Well, in this case, we can understand the nuclear education in Brazil in 3 levels: the undergraduate courses, graduate courses, and the specialization. Specialization, we have also short courses that we give for people from industry, hospitals, to prepare them for to be supervisor in radiation protection and so on. I will try to show you about the undergraduate courses and graduate courses. Undergraduate courses, we have 2 courses, one in Rio de Janeiro and one in Pernambuco, and one new that Professor Claudio will talk about it. So I will leave to him to talk because it will initiate now. And about graduate courses, we have 7 master degree courses and 5 doctor degree courses. Next, please. Next. Okay. It's important that the graduate courses in Brazil to operate need the the old one. Please. Okay, now need the authorization and the evaluation of COPPE. COPPE is the Coordination for the Improvement of Higher Education Personnel. It is part of the Ministry of Education. This organ, without the authorization of this organ, the graduate course is not authorized to operate. And COPPE also is responsible for the evaluation and promote the international scientific cooperations and administrate scholarships for the students in the graduate courses. Next, please. Well, before talk about the specific courses of our nuclear area, it's important to say that COPPE evaluate the courses considering the infrastructure, the number of publications, number and quality of the students, and the many other topics, and at the end, give a concept for the courses. The range is between 3 to 7. 5, 6, 7 are considered very good courses, and the 7 is for the excellent course. In case of 7, they take in account the internationalization of the course, how many international cooperation, how many international students, and so on. So you will see now when I will try to explain the graduate courses in our area that each one has a concept at COPPE. It is, in this case, also COPPE divide the courses in different areas. And I will try to talk about the courses of nuclear area that are allocated by COPPE in the engineering area, in Engenharia 2. We know that we have courses in physics area, biophysics, or other courses that have in their areas, research areas, some activity in nuclear area, in special for medical application or industrial application. But now I will don't talk about them. I will concentrate only the courses classified in the nuclear engineering area by COPPE. Next, please. So about the undergraduate course, the first one is the course from UFRJ, and this was the first course, undergraduate course in nuclear science. And it's a reactor physics, applied nuclear physics, reactor engineering, security analysis, and human factor engineering. And the second one, next please, is our course here in the Federal University of Pernambuco in the Northeast. And this course is the only course in the North and Northeast regions, Brazilian regions. And in our case, it is not only the course dedicated for nuclear energy, like of FRJ. In our course, we have nuclear energy and renewable energy. talk about solar energy, aeolic energy, and biomass energy. And this, if I know, this is the only course in Brazil that has the both areas, nuclear and non-nuclear energies. Next, please. About the graduate courses, the first we will talk about the course in the Military Engineering Institute. This institute is in Rio de Janeiro. This was the first course in the area of nuclear applications, initiated activities in 58 as a specialization course in nuclear engineering, and in 69 changed to master course in nuclear engineering. Its research areas are nuclear reactors, environmental control, and the concept at COPPE is 3. It is located in Rio de Janeiro. Next, please. The other one, also located in Rio de Janeiro, is the course Nuclear Engineering, and it's a program in science and nuclear technology. It has only the master degree beginning on 2010, also has the concept at COPPE 3, and it is located in the Nuclear Engineering Institute. It is Institute of the National Commission of Nuclear Energy. And the areas are technology and safety reactors, environmental impact, and nuclear application, industry, health, safety, and environment. Next, please. Moving to Minas Gerais, but in the Southeast region, still in the Southeast region, we have CDTN, that is another institute of the National Commission on Nuclear Energy. And this course is a science and technology of radiation, minerals and materials. And the areas are related of the science and technology of materials, minerals, and ionizing radiation. This course has 2 levels, the master that initiated in 2002, and the doctor degree initiated 2010. And the concept of at COPPE is 4. Well, the next, please. Okay. Now we have also in Minas Gerais, in the same city in Belo Horizonte, the other course, nuclear engineering in the nuclear engineering department of the Federal University of Minas Gerais. And this course has also master and doctor degrees. And the concept at COPPE is 5. And the research areas are radiation science and nuclear and energy engineering. Now moving for the Northeast Pernambuco. In Pernambuco, we have a program with master and doctor. And this program has areas, the name of our course is Program in Energy and Nuclear Technologies. And we have areas in nuclear instrumentation and dosimetry, reactor engineering, radioisotope applications in agriculture and environment, radioisotope applications in medicine and industry, and renewable source of energy. In 1997, when we initiate the doctor degree course, we had a partnership with the Regional Center of Nuclear Science. It is an institute of Kinem, and together now we are coordinating this graduate course. Our course is the only graduate program in the area of North and Northeast region, so contribute a lot for the qualification of human resources in these regions, including for nuclear application in medicine, agriculture, and industry. And until now, until December 2019, we had 417 master dissertation concluded and 199 theses. Well, returning to Southeast, to Rio de Janeiro, we have a nuclear engineering program at the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro. Probably Professor Soon we'll talk up more about this course, but just to know that this is a course with the concept at CAPS 6, and the research areas are reactor physics, reactor engineering, applied nuclear physics, safety analysis, and human factors engineering. The number of master dissertation during the period of operation of this course was 634, and doctor thesis 340. And the other biggest graduate course is in São Paulo, in IPEM. Well, as you see in our history, one of the first institute that initiate operation with nuclear activities. And in IPEN is also a course with the concept 6 at CAPES. And the research areas are nuclear applications, nuclear materials, and nuclear reactors. And this course had 1,932 master's dissertations concluded and 976 theses, doctor theses. Besides these courses that I told you that are classified by CAPES in the area of engineering, I want to present the course, graduate course of the Institute of Radio Protection and Dosimetry, IRD, that is Institute of the National Commission of Nuclear Energy. This institute is located in Rio de Janeiro. And why I selected this? Because this course is very active in the area of radiation protection and dosimetry. And the areas, research areas are radiation biophysics, medical physics, metrology, radiation metrology, bioecology, and the concept at CAPS is 4. The of the courses, students from countries, especially Latin America. I know my courses from Latin America, other courses also. So the education in Brazil contribute also for the Council Latin America. And one question maybe is where this is, well, in general, the university, government institute, the Canadian, UNB, and the industries, medical schools. So they have now nuclear activity, but they initiate that with the knowledge they acquired in their master or PhD course. Next, please. Well, as I told, we have also short courses for industries and medical areas like radiation protection, nuclear legislation, nuclear instrumentation, dosimetry. All of these institutes that I talked about them, they give these short courses. And these short courses are to attain the necessity of industries and medical installations. Next, please. But besides this formal education, and I liked when Vitor showed that it's important to work with the population to disseminate the information about the benefits of the use of nuclear radiation. We created here in my department, Nuclear Energy Department, a museum of nuclear science. This museum is a non-formal teaching space. It is an educational cultural space for the dissemination and socialization of the knowledge of the applications in nuclear energy, medicine, industry, agriculture, and electricity generation. We received during, it was created in 2010. We received around 5,000 visitors per year. And it's very grateful to see that after the visit, they in general say, oh, I didn't know that. No, I know that nuclear is good. It's not so bad. I thought only about the bomb. I thought only about the bad effects. So the museum is another way to make education in nuclear area. Second, please. Next, please. Here you can see photos of children from high school, from university, public in general. And the museum also give how you say, webinars with the schools, produce materials that try to help the teachers to give to their students, and is the way, a non-formal way to make education in nuclear area. Well, it is the short time I have. I'm so sorry because I organize all things well. And at the end, we had problem with the presentation, but I am here for questions and comments. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Helen. I think in the end, all went well, and you had you made a very good, very comprehensive presentation. I see that a couple of questions have come in at the chat, but maybe it would be good to proceed with the other two presentations, because those questions can be for all panelists. So I propose that we hear the other two speakers and hopefully have a bit of time for the discussion at the end. So our next speaker is Professor Su Jian. He's Professor of Nuclear Engineering at the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro. He received a bachelor and master degrees in mechanical engineering in China, and then a doctorate degree in mechanical engineering from the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro. He has been a faculty member of nuclear engineering department since 1998, and also was the head of that department from 2009 until 2013. So Professor Su will talk about, I think, the structure and the curriculum of the nuclear engineering programs at the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro. So Professor Su, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Virginie. I would like to thank the organizers for the kind invitation. So after the excellent overview by Professor Helen Khoury, so my talk will be much easier to understand. So I will talk about the nuclear education at the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro. So I will talk the university, UFRJ, the engineering schools, polytechnic school, POLI, and the Graduate School of Engineering, COPPE, and the nuclear engineering department. Okay. I will give a short review of some key events. The engineering education in Brazil started in 1792 as the Royal Academy of Artillery, Fortification and Design. And now it is the IMI, the Military Institute of Engineering, where there is a master degree course there. And also it's origin of the Brazilian Military Academy of the Army, the ABDAN, and of our Polytechnic School. So the military engineering transferred to the civil, to the Ministry of Empire at that time, at 1874, and changed the name as a Polytechnic School. So it's known as the POLI. Okay. So that started the teaching, the education of engineering as a civil profession. Okay. In 1920, so the government created the University of Rio de Janeiro, the first federal university, and then changed the name to the University of Brazil. And lastly, the name was changed to the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro, is now known as UFRJ. The graduate education in UFRJ started in 1963. So that is the beginning of the graduate education, started with chemical engineering and mechanical engineering. So the M.Sc program, the master degree in nuclear engineering, studied at COPPE in 1968, and then in 1979, we studied the doctor degree program in nuclear engineering. So only recently, 10 years ago, the undergraduate program in nuclear engineering was created jointly by the POLI and the COPPE at UFRJ. So up to after 2010, UFRJ have all the 3 levels of higher education in nuclear engineering. Okay. So the key numbers, so we have 600, more than 600 master degree awarded, 333 doctor degree awarded, and we graded 53 nuclear engineers. So currently we have 30 master students and 117 doctor students and 150 undergraduate students. So half of the master's degree students are funded by scholarships from GABIS and SIMPIGE, and 45 students from the doctor student are full-time, have full-time fellowship. The others mostly are part-time students from nuclear industry and from other industry or organization. So our department is a relatively small department. For many years, we have 12 faculty members, and we have a 40% growth in last 3 years. Now we have 17 full-time faculty members. Among them, 9 are full professors. All of them are CVNPK research fellows. So this indicates the quality of the faculty. But on the other hand, many of them are near the retirement. So we are worried about the replacement of experienced full professor by young assistant professors. And we have 3 associate professors, 5 assistant professors, and 6 adjunct faculty members we call collaborators, and one of them are teaching collaborator. And then we have the technical and administrative staff in the office and laboratory. Okay, so the research are divided in 5 research areas: the reactor physics, reactor engineering, applied nuclear physics, safety analysis, human factor engineering, and the faculties are divided among the areas. So physically, we have 4 research laboratories: the Laboratory of Nuclear Instrumentation, so applied nuclear physics; Laboratory of Monitoring and Processing, a laboratory for nuclear physics and human factor engineering; Laboratory for Simulation and Methods in Engineering is for reactor engineering; Laboratory of Environmental Analysis and Computational Simulation, also for applied nuclear physics. And 2 teaching laboratory is computing laboratories for the student: the Laboratory of Numerical Methods for graduate student, and the Laboratory of Computing for undergraduate student. Okay, now I'm going to show the course structure, the program structure of the masters. So it's roughly the same all across the country. The structure is similar. In COPPE, we adopt a quarter term, a term of 3 months. So yearly, the student is expected to finish a master study in 2 years. That's 8 teaching terms, 8 academic terms. So mostly he would delay to 3 years. But that is a maximum deadline. At COPPE, at our program, as the first term, the full-time students are required to take 4 required common courses. It's nuclear physics, reactor physics, reactor engineering, and monitoring and safety of nuclear power plant. So all the full-time master degree students are required to take these 4 courses. And then in the second term, they have only one common course, the required course, that radio protection. So they have 5 common courses. So the other 3 courses, according to the research area, the students choose between the first and the second term. Then on the third term, the students are required to present a seminar. It's called M.Sc seminar. Then once approved, the student become a M.Sc candidate. Then the student focus on the research and until the defense, usually expected to the end of 2 years. So in COPPE and in most Brazilian universities, each course has 45 teaching hours and 3 credits. So that means in Brazil, the COPPE requires that a master's degree student need to have 360 teaching hours at least. So for doctor's students, the doctor program, there's much fewer courses and more research. There's only 4 courses, all elective, but some supervisors require their students to take some core courses of the master level to have a nuclear background. And after taking the 4 courses, the student usually takes a qualification exam in the end of the second year, and once approved, the student become a DSC candidate. Then the student focus on research for another 2 years and try, and he have to, he or she, student has to publish at least 1 article in a indexed international journal. So then the student could submit the thesis for defense in the end of 4 years. So if not finish 4 years, the student have at most 5 years for the thesis. Okay. The undergraduate program is 5 years, as all the engineering programs across Brazil divided in 10 teaching terms, semester teaching terms. So the academic activities are divided in groups. The first group is required courses, that is 178 credit. Then there is 4 credit for complementary course, and 32 conditional choice, 1 free choice, and other complementary activities. The total number of hours is 4,240. That's far above the minimum required by the minimum for education. So we are undergoing a reform on this program to reduce by 10% of the teaching hours. So to reduce the teaching hours, course numbers, and to allow the students to have more time to focus on each of the courses and to take part in the other complementary activities. Okay. So the course structure, the curriculum of the nuclear engineering undergraduate program is the same with other 12 undergraduate programs in POLI. So that means if one student want to change another to another program, or a student from other program want to come to the nuclear engineering, they could do it during the first 2 years. There's no any difference. Okay, so also it's the same for the all the engineering courses. There's 4 calculus, 4 physics, 4 experimental physics, chemistry, and other courses. So the teaching of nuclear specific courses begins after the 3rd year. So after 3rd year, we have 60% of nuclear focused courses teaching by our faculty members of department. So there are reactor physics 1 and 2, reactor engineering 1 and 2, nuclear power plant safety analysis, risk analysis, fuel cycle, and others. So I will skip the detailed list. So I have a list, but I will skip the list to save time. Okay. Okay. So we have 15. So at year 4, we have there's 8 required courses. So the student takes these 8 courses, nuclear focused courses during year 4. So in year 5, there's only 2 nuclear courses and 1 another alternative energy. So the student could take complementary courses and focus on the internship and on their final year project. Okay. So currently, the faculties, the 17 faculties offers 25 complementary courses. So there's elective courses. The student could choose 8 of them. So we have 25 options in all the 5 areas. So the student would cover 1, 2, or at least 2 areas, or take 1 or 2 from each area. Okay. Okay. Our numbers, they have only 83 graduates from nuclear engineering program. So the first on 2013, and then grows slowly from 14, 15, and so in 19 we reached the number of 13 nuclear engineers degrees awarded in a single year. And in this year, we were expected to go to 16 or 18, but due to the pandemic, we are only stopped at 5. So where are these nuclear engineers works or studies, or where they are? So 26 of them are working in a company called Amazon. It is a state company controlled by the Brazilian Navy for the nuclear propulsion, the reactor design, and for the multipurpose research reactor of Brazil. So they are focused on the reactors. And the 3 are naval officers. 1 is works at the national Brazilian National Energy Commission, 2 at Westinghouse, 5 are students, PhD student or master student at our program, and 6 of them are at financial sectors. 4 other sectors. 1 is a startup company, and 1 is in embedded beer company, and the other 2 in consulting companies. 5 went to the US for PhD. 1 already finished the PhD, now is a faculty as a US American university, and the other still PhD students. And 4 are in Europe. 2 are Europe nuclear master program student, and 2 work in France in nuclear industry. So we have 9 among 53 abroad, and we have half in public sector working, and the others all distributed. So up to now, all of them are doing something, have something to do. or working for the government, for industry, or abroad studying, or already working. So finally, what I talked of the master, doctor, and undergraduate, they are degree courses, and they are all free. In Brazil, in federal universities, they are all free. So the students, their family don't pay anything, and some of them receive a scholarship. Okay, but on the other way, the certificate programs that are shorter programs, they have defunded because it is not the essential part. It's a part that we take part. So if the program has 360 hours, it is called a specialization program. It's a graduate program, Latusins. Okay. Below 360, it is classified as a qualification or training programs. So our department has offered training, the specialization program for IMB, the nuclear fuel company, the ABDAN, and for Brazilian aid. So, and these programs, they are funded by the companies and some organizations. And currently, we are running one module for nuclear propulsion for a specialization program of a Brazilian Navy. Okay. So, just finishing to conclude my presentation. So, I have shown that UFRJ provides high quality nuclear educations at all levels, and our programs are well structured and very focused on nuclear energy and nuclear application. So it is well recognized in Brazilian nuclear community and in international community. Okay. So the certificate programs has been offered upon request from interested companies or organizations. Okay, so we are still working to seek excellence in graduate education to further improve the quality. Now we are concept 6. That means very good. So, but our goal is to reach 7 someday. Okay, and for the nuclear engineers, we are happy with the quality. And we would like to further increase the number of nuclear engineers graduated per year, from 13 last year to 20 or even further. Okay, and we always seek collaborations with industrial partners. In fact, we have joint industrial partners with all the nuclear companies, with some oil companies, and we also seek to cooperations with international partners. So that's my presentation. Okay, thank you. So I come back to Beijing.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Professor Su. It was very interesting to hear all the details of the program, and also after, you know, what happens to the graduates afterwards, and the very interesting places they can work and careers they can have. So I think I'd like to congratulate all our speakers so far, because we are perfectly on time. So well done to all. And I'd like to move to our final speaker. So we've heard about existing established programs, and I think our final speaker will talk about prospective ones. So Professor Claudio Schon is full professor at the Department of Metallurgical and Materials Engineering of the Escola Politecnica. He has coordinated the group which suggested the introduction of a nuclear engineering course, which is going to start in 2021. So we're going to hear more about this new course. Professor, so Claudio, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you for your kind introduction. We will change a bit the idea of this presentation, because now I'm talking about a new course we are introducing in São Paulo starting next year. So the idea of a nuclear engineering course at the University of São Paulo is not new. So I know that there are talks about this since the 2000s. But we started materializing this in the end of the 2009, more specifically. So first I need to tell you about the partners which are involved in this new course. First of all, the Escola Politecnica, where I work, is one of the most traditional engineering schools in Brazil. Of course, not as old as the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro, but we are pretty old for Brazilian references. And we can think of the Escola Politecnica as the major engineering school in the state of São Paulo. We offer undergraduate and graduate courses in many areas, more than 17. And nuclear engineering is one of the new that we are introducing now. So the second partner is the IPEN, Instituto de Pesquisas Energéticas e Nucleares. Professor Helen Khoury already told about the history of IPEN, which started as Nuclear Engineering Institute, IEA. And this is why the reactor there is called IEA R1. R for research, and IEA is Instituto de Energia Nuclear. They are a research institute, so their main purpose is not teaching, but they have master and doctor in nuclear science degrees already very well established in Brazil. So these two institutions then collaborated in creating this new course. This is a photo of my department, the Department of Metallurgical and Materials Engineering, which is hosting the nuclear engineering course, and I will tell more about this in the following. And this is a picture of the IEA R1 working. So Professor Helen told that there was a reactor. There still is a reactor, and it's still working and producing radiation, as you see in this nice Cherenkov radiation emanating from the nucleus in the pool. So, and if you are interested, you can visit the reactor while working. So it's a very nice way to show that nuclear energy is not dangerous. So you can walk around a working reactor there. Of course, nobody tells about the power that is producing there. Talking about the course now, we must understand how the courses, the engineering courses at the Escola Politecnica work. First of all, we are in the middle of a new way of teaching engineering. We introduced it around 2010, which we call the third curriculum structure. Of course, the number 3 here means that we had already 2 older versions of this curriculum. But now the courses are organized in this, the following way. We have all engineering courses of the university, the Escola Politecnica, working in a block of 8 semesters, so 4 years. Among these denominations, we have 2 on our department, which are metallurgy and materials. And in particular, these 2 denominations have also something in common, in which they share the first 3 years of the course with the same disciplines. So this is important because we decided to include the nuclear engineering course in this structure. So our nuclear engineer will also have this 3 semesters or 3 years of common disciplines together with the metallurgy and materials, the future metallurgical engineers and materials engineers. So the formation in the Escola Politecnica is a 5-year course, and the last year, so the 5th year, is a modular option for the student. So the student can continue in his own specialty, where, for example, the metallurgical engineer can do metallurgical specialization in the 5th year, or the student can choose another specialty. So ideally, a student of the civil engineering can do materials engineering modules to improve his formation in civil engineering. So, and after this, which is important because this gives the student the right to work as engineers in the industry. So the last year of the course is what gives the student the permission to work as engineer in Brazil. But after that, the student can do graduate courses, we call in Brazil post-graduation, and they have master and doctor degrees, and the Escola Politecnica worked with these 2. This is an overview of the curricular grid of the new nuclear engineering course. And everything here, which is in the 1 to 6th semester, is these common disciplines which are shared by the 3 courses. Of course, we changed these common disciplines to include contents of nuclear engineering too. So that the idea is that it's common for the 3 courses. In semester 7 and 8, we have the core of the nuclear engineering course, and some disciplines here which have the code IPN are given by the IPN Institute. They have these disciplines already for many years, and they give them as optional lectures for all courses in the University of São Paulo. And we use this as a way to implement this course. And after that, we have here in semesters 9 and 10, the specialization module, which can be in nuclear engineering too. We started this, or at least for my perspective, we started this in 2009 when the Navy sent us a letter asking how were going the plans to create a nuclear engineering course at the Escola Politecnica. Of course, nobody knew anything about this, but I was in the commission who where this letter was read, and I had some knowledge, and this is why I'm here. So because I am curious. Then we had our first proposition group, and we had the luck of work under the coordination of Professor Oscar Brito Augusto. Unfortunately, he already passed away, but he had plenty of experience in creating engineering courses, and this is why he was in this group. And I must say that I coordinated the second group, and most of my work was much easier because of the previous work done by Professor Oscar. In 2016, so this first proposition created a proposition of a course, but this was not implemented. And this is because we were facing some economical crisis at the University of São Paulo at this time, and it was impossible to create the course at the time because of money, to be more specific. But we had already invested a lot of energy in this project, and so the director of the Escola Politécnica at that time asked me to organize a 5th year, so this specialization model in nuclear engineering. So I contacted the professors who worked in the first group, and we created an option for our students in nuclear technology. I will tell more about this in a few minutes. So last year, the director, Professor Liedi, asked me to coordinate a new proposition of a course with the condition that this course should not need money. So this is why we are creating now attached to the metallurgical and materials engineering courses. So the idea is that we are creating a zero-cost course in this year. And this will be implemented in 2021 when the first students enroll. So actually the students already did their option, so this is already finished in Brazil, but we don't have yet the idea of how popular this course was. So we the results were available only 15 days ago, and they were not disclosed to us until now. The important thing about this nuclear technology modules, which is this 5th year specialization module, is that we have to compete with other modules in the Escola Politécnica. There are 53 possible options for the students. So, and we have a number of 850 students per year. So you can imagine that the number of students opting for a given module is not very large. To implement this module, we have to rely on the collaboration of IPEN, and actually the researchers from IPEN are giving the lectures now, so this semester. The first class was in 2019, last year, and we had 3 students enrolled and graduated in nuclear technology. Now in the second year, we have 11. So we had a almost fourfold increase in 1 year. So, and this is important. This experience is important because this forms the core of the new nuclear engineering course. And it's very interesting because after we created the course, we started receiving requests from students wanting to change to the nuclear engineering course. So, and I have to discuss with the students that sometimes the best option is to use the structure of the EC3, which we have in the Escola Politecnica, and so that they don't disturb their graduation. The important part of the collaboration with IPEN is that not only they are in the campus of the University of São Paulo, which is also something very important for us. For example, our students, when they were having presential lectures last year, they went to the IPEN to have the lectures. But also it's important that they are well-recognized graduate programs, so they have experience in teaching, so they are not only researchers. The infrastructure is very good, not only for research, but also for education. For example, our students have a lecture on thermohydraulics, and they do this in a reactor simulation laboratory they have there. So actually, they did that when they could attend presential lectures last year. So this year, we are all remote, so this cannot be done this year. And more important, there are very tight ties between professors at the Escola Politecnica and researchers in IPEN. Many of us collaborate already in research and in education in the past, and then so it is natural that we have this this connection. Finally, why did we attach the nuclear course to materials and metallurgy? We decided this on the beginning, that our idea is to give a good connection with the fuel cycle. So we decided that our tradition is with the fuel cycle. This is because IPEN, for example, is developing the fuel for the multipurpose reactor they have there. They have 2 working reactors there. They produce their fuel there. So we feel that our tradition is with the nuclear fuel cycle. And so this makes natural to attach to metallurgical and materials engineering. Metallurgical because, as you know, many of the new suggestions of fuels for research reactors are metallic alloys. And I myself work in the development of metallic uranium alloys for fuels. And materials engineering because of the connections with the ceramic fuels and also the infrastructure of a reactor. And this is what I had presented, prepared to present for you. And I'm here ready to answer your questions when you have. Okay, if I stop here. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Claudio. Certainly a very interesting adventure, and I wish all the success for 2021 when the first students join this new course. I believe we have some few minutes left in our session before the concluding remarks for some discussion. And I have seen in the chat a couple of questions. One of them was addressed to all panelists, so I'm just gonna maybe ask the panelists to turn on their videos, and they can let me know you know, if which questions they want to take on. The first one was asking for your thoughts on enhancing this technical training with more entrepreneurship, so to promote more nuclear startups businesses. So my understanding, obviously correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, is how to add to this technical training, add maybe some more business type of learning for you know, graduates to then be ready to, you know, start up their own business. Does anyone have thoughts on this in particular?
Virginie, maybe I can say something.
Yep.
If we look nuclear, not only for power plants, but for nuclear applications. So in this case, you can prepare the graduate students to work in the nuclear medicine or in nuclear industry applications or in research for agriculture. You have a lot of techniques that you can apply for agriculture conditions. So I think in application, you can do more training so the graduate student or can have their own business or work in other places. Related to power plant, I think that it's difficult only if they can look to work in some areas of, like Claudio said, metallurgical or prepare materials that are used in nuclear plant. This is something associated, not really nuclear area, but in devices that are used in nuclear area. Well, this I see in that direction. I don't know my colleagues.
Thank you. Anyone else wants to?
Yes, I may complement some idea. Yeah, so this question by Carlos Leitner. Yes, in COPPE, at COPPE and UFRJ, we encourage the student to set up a startup, and so there is a incubator at COPPE that every year they calls for new startup companies. In fact, that one of the 53 nuclear engineers set up a company. So we have at least one example that of a startup company. So there in COPPE we encourage, and there are some rules to incentive the professor to be the faculty member to be a no executing partner. He could be a part owner, but couldn't be a employee or executive. So there is a way to incentive the faculty also take part in the startup company. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Claudio, sorry.
We are still starting in nuclear, so we don't have an experience in entrepreneurship in nuclear engineering because we are still beginning. Most of our experiences working with official research, but the Escola Politécnica has a lot of experience in increasing the awareness of the students to entrepreneurship, and we have groups working in the different departments in this area, and I believe we will contribute with this in the future. So I have the idea that it's possible to increase the call for entrepreneurship in nuclear engineering with our course.
Maybe I compliment Virginia just because maybe I give the idea that in our university or other universities, we don't have efforts for startups. The idea is not that. This is something that all the universities are looking for that. What I try to say that these startups probably are with subjects related to applications. For example, we have one student that is developed of equipment for radiotherapy. So he opened his startup, but to produce nuclear instrumentation. This is what I try to say. The subject of the startup is more related for applications.
Thank you, Helen. And I think it's quite clear. So it's good to see that it's already happening, and it's also part of the plans for future programs. There was a follow-up question, I think, on how to improve technical training in all levels of education, from technician to undergraduate to graduate. Does anyone have thoughts on this question from Josue Medeira? I don't know if you saw that in the chat.
I would like to share some ideas on this. I think this is something we have to think about. So our universities, I don't know the experience of the partners in Rio de Janeiro and Recife, but in São Paulo, I know we are still lacking a program in which we attract high school students to the university. And I believe we have to start doing this, especially in nuclear engineering. So I could think about a program of visiting technical courses, technical high schools, for example, to give some lectures or some talks about safety in nuclear engineering, nuclear energy, the use of nuclear energy for other areas than production of energy, because the idea of the population of nuclear is very lacking of these other kinds of use. So one example I use in all talks I give about it's about the shoes. For example, the plastic of the shoes are irradiated at IPEM to increase the strength. And most of the people have no idea that the shoes they used passed to a cobalt source, for example. So their idea of nuclear is always, oh, it will become radioactive. And so this is something we have to change. And I think the idea is really to go to the high schools, because most of our population stop the education at high school, so and go work after that. And this is the market we should address.
Well, I want to say that I present in my presentation, this is the reason of the Nuclear Science Museum. This a space to be beside the high schools and the population in general to show the benefits of the use of nuclear applications. And concerning the questions, beside this, that I agree totally with Claudio, that we need to have more information, more dissemination of the information. We need also some courses that attend the practice. For example, the technician that works in nuclear medicine, many times they don't have information about radiation protection, about nuclear. So maybe in our courses, we need to prepare short courses together with the clinics to be in the practice, not only the theory. Many times we are discussing the theory, but we need to change to have maybe now with the pandemic, we see the technology, digital technology, so maybe videos or e-learning, something like that, close to the technician, to the people that work in the industry. And another things that with the schools, the high schools organized, we had a program that in January, our vacation, one student per school and one professor stay with us during 1 week. So we have usually 20 persons, 10 professors, 10 students that during 1 week work with us in the laboratory. And they look what we are doing, try to give them some information. And at the end, they go to their school and did some project related to nuclear activities. This was a very good experience because they, when stay in the laboratory with us, they saw our reality. And at the same time, they are motivated for the area. Actually, currently, I have a lot of students that are doing master that was visitors of the museum. After the museum, they changed it and want to go to the area. So we have to work in the high school. I agree totally. Okay, thank you.
So I would like to say a few words on the training raised by Mr. Jose Medeiros. I think that the university industry partnership is very important. And as Professor Helen Khoury showed, that the nuclear education in Brazil is very, very well established. There are 5 doctor course, 7 master course, and 3 undergraduate course. So there is a capacity for training. And the thing is the company that get in touch with the university to set up a course for their demand. So the Brazilian Navy, once they request two programs, each is 225 hours, that's 5 course program. So we trained 35 officers each time. And now they bring this course in-house. Every Navy officer must take an engineering course. One of them is propulsion. And so we go there to teach a module of nuclear propulsion. And the ABDAN once requested a program, and the INB, the nuclear fuel company, they hired a high number of new employees. Then they want to give them a quick training. It's not quick, it's 8 months courses. So we gave them 8 courses. Individually, the employees, they are free to go as long as their company allows them to take time, to give them time to take the degree, the master and the doctorate degree. They are all free for the part-time student. So so this depends more on the company than the university. The university are willing to cooperate, just to get agreement with the company to train their individuals, to train their technicians. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we are actually now slightly running over time for our session. There was a question on programs that integrate professionals working in the nuclear area. I know that's most certainly the case with World Nuclear University programs that are designed for nuclear professionals, including courses such as these ones. Did anyone want to say a word about that? One of our, for Brazil programs in particular, for nuclear professionals?
Yeah, we at the Escola Politecnica, we have actions in these areas, not in nuclear engineering, because we are, as I told, starting now, But we have a continuous education program at the Escola Politecnica, which is open to professionals. Actually, the application is individual, so the professional enters these courses, and they use it for education. I can imagine that we will open something in this area for nuclear technology too, or using the experience we will gain in undergraduate. But this is something for 2 or 3 years from now, so it's not immediate.
Okay, thank you very much, Claudio. I'm afraid we're going to have to end this session and move on to the concluding remarks. But obviously, I'd like to first thank all our panelists this afternoon. It was a very, very interesting session, very comprehensive. I think participants now have a great view of everything that is offered to them in terms of training and education in the nuclear field. So yes, thank you all. You can use your little little clapping on your screens as well to our lecturers. I will now give the floor to I think it's King Lee will give the concluding remarks for the whole whole course. So thank you again, and King, it's up to you. I hope I can't see you on the screen, but I'm sure you're here somewhere.
Can everyone hear me? I'm just going to share. I'm sorry, I have a difficulty there. Thank you, Virginie, and the speakers. A very interesting session on nuclear education and training. And thank you all for joining this World Nuclear University Brazil online course on the world nuclear industry today. We all had the opportunity to listen and learn from many experts from Brazil and from around the globe, and engage in discussion and exchange of ideas. First, I would like to thank ABDAN team. Again, this course has been another excellent collaboration between the WNU and ABDAN. Also, I'd like to thank all the lecturers who have contributed to the course and provided their expertise and experience. I personally learned many new and interesting things from all these sessions. I'm encouraged by all the participation from everyone. There has been really interesting discussion and engagement over the 2 days. I hope you had able to take away many learning from the course and make new connections and get inspired about nuclear energy in Brazil and around the world, and appreciate the vital contribution that you personally can make to nuclear development. The course covered wide range topics. We learned about nuclear energy development in Brazil, South America region, and international new build. Investment and financing to nuclear supply chain from senior executive from Brazil Nuclear Company. And this morning we heard excellent discussion on communication about nuclear energy. Just now we learned more about WNU nuclear education programs, how it supports nuclear energy leadership development. Also, we just heard from the leaders from a number of Brazil educational nuclear science establishment discussing about their course and program. I hope all the lectures and discussion inspire you to learn more about nuclear energy and its potential to provide the clean energy that the world desperately needs to address climate change and support UN Sustainable Goal Development. Also, I encourage you to learn more about the World Nuclear University and the World Nuclear Association and visit our website. Please do not hesitate to contact us if you wish further information. I look forward to connecting with you at the next WNU course or WNA event or ABDAN event. Thank you all again for your participation. I would now formally close the course and wish you all a good day.